you very much, forum members, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here as always. And I'll just start off by giving you a little bit of bio about myself. I'm an Air Force veteran. I grew up on a farm in Illinois, actually, in southern Illinois. I've been in Washington County since 1979. So I'm not a native, but I'm getting there. So, and I'm married to a native, so that counts, I think. I had my own small business for the last 12 years before I retired and ran for office. I was a IT consultant and worked for big companies, U.S. Bank, First Interstate, Pacific Corp, and the last place I was on contract was a Freightliner. I was there for a couple of years. And I decided to run for city council. And that was my first foray into public office. I didn't win that. And I was going to run again, and someone said, you know, Chuck, you can't really do the things that you want to do from the city council. I've heard what your ideas are, and that you can't do those from the city council. You need to run for state rep. So I did that. Lost my first race, but that didn't stop me. I went ahead and ran again and won my second race. So I've been in the legislature now 3 terms in the House of Representatives. Let me talk a little bit about some of the things that I've done in the legislature, and then maybe talk about what I want to do in the future. Just a few of the things. One of the things that I worked on really hard was our payday loan situation in Oregon, where payday loan folks were charging 700 to 800% interest on loans, and we got a bill passed to limit that to 36%. They said they were all going to go out of business if they could only charge 36%, but I thought 36 was plenty. So we did get that passed. It passed with a fairly large majority, with only a few people voting against it. I also worked really hard last session on a bill to allow the Attorney General to actually investigate fraud and abuse cases from banks. It turns out there were only 2 industries which were accepted from the Fair Trade Practices Act, and that was banks and insurance companies. Well, we got one of them under that, so the Attorney General can actually now investigate fraud and abuse cases. Another issue in the consumer protection area was the BPA, a toxic chemical that is in baby bottles and other products to harden the plastic, and very harmful. And we had a bill to actually get that out of those baby bottles and sippy cups and other children's products. And that passed the House. Unfortunately, it didn't make it through the Senate. So we want to try that again. One other bill that I worked really hard on was a plain language bill. I introduced that bill 4 years ago, and what it does is it requires the state government to write in plain language every document that is given to or sent to the public. So anything that goes out to citizens now must be written in plain language. It's actually, it seemed like just common sense to me at the time, but it actually has saved a lot of money for the state. And the way it's done that is, when you get something, if you understand it, you don't have to call and ask what it means. And so that saved a whole lot of staff time, and in several departments. It's not completely put in yet. They're still working on it, but we're continuously changing documents to make them into the plain language. What I probably want to do when I move into the Senate is I want to continue working on consumer protection issues. Senator Bonamici is the chair of the Senate Consumer Protection Committee, and I really want to work with her on a lot of really good consumer protection issues. There are some that we've tried before and didn't pass, and we need to get done. I currently sit on the Revenue Committee in the House, and that's for another committee that I want to work on once I get into the Senate, is the Finance and Revenue Committee. We really need to look at accountability for all of our state budgets and agencies. We need to have good outside audits to make sure that everyone is working efficiently and doing the best that they can with the money that they have. One of the things that I have done is I was chair for one term of the Information Technology and Government Accountability Committee in the House, and I'd like to do that in the Senate as well. I'd like to start that committee in the Senate, and I've already talked to the Senate President about the possibility of having that committee. So, one other thing that I'm really interested in, of course, is creating jobs in Oregon and keeping the good jobs that we have. We've got a long way to go. The economy is really bad, not just in Oregon, not just in the United States, but basically all over the world. And that's going to come back around, but we have to keep working to make sure that it comes back in Oregon as strongly as possible. So I want to work very hard on the economy. I was on the Trade and Economic Development Committee for 2 sessions, and I think that's a very important area that we need to keep working on. We need to make sure that we get businesses, good paying jobs in Oregon, and there are many ways that we can go about that. We're doing better now than the papers would have you believe, but we've got a long way to go. We need to keep incentivizing those companies that we like, the companies that reflect our values in Oregon, especially those green businesses like Solar World and the Vestas, the company that manufactures wind turbines. They just set up their North American headquarters in Portland, and that's a good thing. Solar World has announced that they're shutting down their plant in Camarillo, California, because Oregon is a much better place to do business, and they're going to open a new facility right beside the one they have in Hillsboro, and that'll be about another 300 jobs. So those kinds of things show that we are open for business, and we want to remain that way. Those businesses that are in Hillsboro, especially, those businesses, one of the reasons they're here is we have a lot of great green energy technology, and once you start getting that reputation, that's a place that it welcomes green technology, then more people come. I just want to wrap up by saying I really have been honored to be state representative for District 29 for 3 terms, and I would be honored to be your next senator, and so I hope you will consider me for that position. Thank you very much.